My name is Jen, and this is my husband, Darren.
Hey, y'all.
He is going to be joining us today, and we are going to be showing y'all our award-winning chili recipe.
Yep.
So back in October, my stepdad actually entered us into a chili cook-off, and we participated just for fun, and we actually won 3rd place, which made me so happy because, like I said, we were just doing it for fun, did not expect to win anything, and came out with that. And what's even more cool about that is 2nd place was actually our favorite restaurant that we oftentimes go to for date nights, a really super nice restaurant, and we were just right behind them.
They're a 5-star restaurant.
Yes, and this chili came in right behind them, and of course everyone loved it. I did not walk away with any to bring home, so I thought that you guys would want to know that recipe as well. This chili recipe is a little bit more involved than my normal chili recipe, say if I'm just cooking it on a regular weeknight, but it is worth it if you have a little bit more time to spend. It's not any more difficult, it just takes a little bit more time as far as prep work and things like that goes. So I do have a normal chili recipe that I will link down below that is much easier, but if you're looking for something to kind of, I don't know, maybe enter your own chili cook-off, or you just are in the mood for a really good chili, then this is definitely something you need to watch.
It's really good.
And then also, what goes better with chili than some really yummy cornbread? So I'm also going to be sharing a recipe for that in this video as well. It's my mama's jalapeno buttermilk cornbread. It's delicious. My mouth is watering just talking about it.
So good.
So let's go ahead and let's get started on both of these things.
Come along with us.
Come on, y'all, let's eat. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna roast some Anaheim and some Poblano chili peppers. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and these are gonna roast for about 20 minutes, and I'll come with some tongs and flip these a couple times throughout the way, just until the outsides have a nice bit of black char on them. We are gonna peel them so the black char will come off, but we're gonna roast these for about 20 minutes. Okay, so right now Darren is just chopping up the bacon. We're actually gonna go ahead and fry it in our main pot. We're cooking everything in one pot, and we're going to save the bacon once it's almost crispy, but we're actually gonna use a couple tablespoons of the bacon grease to fry up our peppers and onion. That's gonna give it a whole nother depth of flavor that is super delicious. So while my peppers are roasting and my bacon is over there frying, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my jalapenos, my red peppers, my onion, and my fresh garlic. So that way I'll have it all in a bowl, ready to throw in the pot. Make sure you wear gloves anytime you are chopping jalapenos. Trust me, you don't wanna be touching these and then go to scratch your nose or your eye or anything like that later. So I just wear gloves, that way I don't have to think about it.
Jesse was born on a winter's night in the middle of a storm. The road was blocked, so Jesse was born in this old house.
Alright, so I know I've showed y'all before in another video, but in case you haven't seen, I'm going to show you the easiest way to cut a bell pepper. Thank you to my stepdad for showing me this. Now you don't have to do this part, but I like to cut the top off. It just makes it easier to see where I'm cutting. And basically, I'm gonna make a slit here and here, right along the ribs. So I'm just cutting off this part right here. And what you'll be left with is just 4 even parts of the pepper, the part that you will use, and then everything that you don't use anyway will still be intact on the pepper, and it's easy to just dispose of that. So what you're left with is this part of the pepper, all the seeds and everything in there. There's no scraping each little part, and you're left with 4 little parts of your pepper like that you just are ready to chop up.
Raised on love in those sunny years when there was magic in the world. Her laughter traveled well across those hardwood floors. God knows we did.
So once your peppers are starting to char up like that, maybe your skin is already kind of falling off, you want to take a paper bag. It can be a lunch bag, or we just have some leftover grocery bags, and we're just going to place these in here, and then we're going to seal this shut, and that's just going to steam the peppers, and it'll make taking the skin off of there really, really easy. So now we're just going to let that sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. All right, so now I'm just going to heat a couple tablespoons of this bacon grease back up, and I'm going to start browning up my onions and my peppers. Darren's over here working on peeling our steamed and roasted peppers. So we're gonna go ahead and get the raw ones in here, kind of sauteing already. So in this bowl, I just have my onions, red peppers, jalapenos, and garlic. So this is what I'm gonna saute, while Darren is gonna chop up our roasted and steamed peppers.
Once you roast it and steam it, that skin just comes right off.
So you can just kind of wipe the seeds out, and then you'll just chop up your peppers, and this is the hardest part. The roasting the peppers and chopping everything up is the hardest part. Does that look? Maybe not on camera, but it looks and smells delicious on my end. Anyway, I'm just gonna give that one more minute to kind of let those flavors marry together a little bit, and then I'm just gonna put this to the side in a bowl. I'm gonna use the same pot to brown all of our meats. All right, next to my pot, I'm gonna add 3 pounds of ground chucks. I know this is 2 pounds. I have another little pack over here. And also along with that, I'm gonna brown up 1 pound of Jimmy Dean Italian sausage. This is the sausage that we use, so I highly recommend it. It's a little bit hard to find, but if you can't find this one, I would say just use regular Jimmy Dean sausage and add a little bit of Italian seasoning. Okay, so all my meat is browned up. So I'm gonna turn it back down to low while I add everything else in. I'm gonna add all of our cooked peppers back in here. Next, I'm gonna add our cooked bacon that we didn't eat while we were browning everything up.
Not a bit.
You have to eat some of it. That's just part of the recipe.
You do? Well,
yes.
Take some of that out.
No, we already did. So now we're gonna add in our chili powder. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of regular chili powder and then 1 tablespoon of Chipotle chili powder. We're doing 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And of course, all these seasonings are to taste. If you don't like stuff real spicy, then you can just leave it out. Next, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of cumin. And by the way, I will have the recipe typed out below. Also, we're gonna go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Teaspoons of onion powder. 2 teaspoons of paprika. About 2 teaspoons of salt. Just gonna guesstimate. 2 teaspoons of black pepper. We're gonna add 2 cups of tomato sauce. I have a 29-ounce can, so I'm gonna add about half of this can. Is a 12-ounce can of tomato paste. Alright, next you're going to add in a 12-ounce can of a light beer. It doesn't really matter what kind, And if you prefer not to use beer or add beer, I would just suggest using 12 ounces of either chicken stock or beef broth. Either one of those will work. And speaking of chicken broth, we are going to add in about a cup of chicken broth. Next is 2 cans of kidney beans with the juice. Last thing we're going to add is 2 cans of pinto beans, again with the juice. Alright, so I have all my ingredients in here. You are going to use a big pot for this. The way you can half this recipe, you're going to simmer this for at least an hour and a half. I'm going to bring it up to medium, get it to a nice simmer, and then I'll turn it down a little bit. Or you can put it in the crock pot. That's what I did when we cooked this the first time. And it just kind of simmered all morning, you know, while we were there. So, I'm actually going to add a little bit more chicken broth. This part is totally up to you. You can wait until it simmers a little bit and then just add a little bit more liquid. But I can already tell I want just a little bit more. So, I'll save the rest that I have in my carton. I'm going to pop a lid on this and bring that up to a simmer, and the hard part is done. Alright, so my chili is on the stove simmering. So while that's simmering and working and doing all of its magic, we're going to work on the jalapeno buttermilk cornbread. Alright, so to our mixing bowl, first I'm going to add 1.5 cups of yellow cornmeal mix. Add 1 heaping tablespoon of all-purpose flour. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Next going in is 1 can of creamed corn. Okay, next you're supposed to add onion, but I just used my last 2 onions in the chili. So I'm just going to use some minced onion. But definitely go ahead and use the chopped onion, or leave it out if you don't like onion. But I'll probably use about a tablespoon of minced onion. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of pickled jalapeno. I'm going to add about 2.5 because we're already going to have enough spice with our chili. Next, we're going to add 1 cup of buttermilk. And by the way, sorry if you hear my dishwasher in the background. There we go. And the last ingredient is a little over 1 cup of sharp cheddar cheese.
That looks so good.
Alright, so once you got it all mixed up, I'm just going to pour it into my greased 9x13. And this is going to bake at 350 for about an hour. Y'all, so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you will give this chili and cornbread a try. It's delicious.
2 thumbs up.
We're all over here eating it right now. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you're all doing great, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye y'all.
I wanna lean.
Lean with it. Rock with it. Lean with it. Is that how you do it? Lean with it. Rock with it.
Oh, love you so so much.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Let's be really good. Let's be really good. Okay, deep breath in. Deep breath out.
What's cooking? What's cooking?
What's cooking?
What's cooking?
Chili cornbread.